Hey friends, did you know that Medium Curious is brought to you by VerySoul? VerySoul is a platform where everyone can receive a free mediumship reading. And it provides us... What? Yeah, free. Really. And it provides a safe place for mediums in training to go practice, but also practice.
Yes, mediums need practice.
Yes, we do.
But did you know that VerySoul upholds vigorous standards for their working mediums? By requiring compelling evidence in every session, they ensure consistent, reliable, and meaningful experiences for every client. So go to verysoul.com, mediums you can trust.
Hey everybody, I'm Jane.
And I'm Sarah.
And you're listening to the Medium Curious podcast, the show that wants to know if you're ready to wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
Come on, kids, let's wake up.
Yes, that's what we're talking about today. Awakened. Here we go.
Awakening. Yeah? You just want to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Jane. What are we talking about?
It's been a minute since it's just been you and me. How the heck are you, Bed?
Oof. Awakened. In need of a nap.
Simultaneously wide awake and ready for a nap.
And you're caffeinated from what I can tell.
I'm super caffeinated. I did a workout. I'm caffeinated. I'm the angel version of Joe Rogan this morning. Let's go.
All right.
You know what? I'm actually super stoked because I caught one of those Next Level Soul podcasts, and by some magical chance, the ads were not working. So it was such a pleasure to listen to it. I'll respect Alex, but the ads are sort of intense. And so like for some reason, like the feed wasn't working. And I was like just enjoying the heck out of this podcast of his where he had on that channeler who channels Raphael. And you know her name.
Kelly Kolodny.
Oh, so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah. I've been following her for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she's amazing. And she's a Clear Channel, obviously, and the information coming through aligned really magically with everything I've been hearing from spirit and from the world. And it was like crazy lining up. Like there was one point yesterday where I was listening to the podcast and she was talking about how we get to experience this life and how what the question was, Alex was like, would you, meaning to the angel, would you ever want to be a human? And it was so adorable because she was like, no effing way. Like, no, thanks. Y'all are brave and courageous.
Yeah.
Right. And I just loved that acknowledgement that the angels think it's hilarious. Like, no way, I don't want to be a human because y'all are brave. And I was like, hey, look at us. We're brave. But anyway, so she was saying like, but the great thing about being humans is something that you talk about a lot, Sarah. And one of the things I love to hear you talk about because it just cheers me up.
Let me guess. Experiencing it? Yeah.
Yes. Like through
all the
senses.
sensations. Yeah.
Exactly. So in my ear, she's going, because then you hear the sound of the waves and your feet on sand. And I was walking up to the beach with my feet on sand. And then she said, and the birds do da-da-da. And a bird flew right up in front of me. So I was like, I've got chills right now. You know, like it was like that flowing, like, oh, right. That's why we're here feeling.
Yeah. So when we were talking about what do we want to talk about today, it's getting in tune with that, noticing those synchronicities. But then I also listened to that episode and the angel Raphael was talking about awakening, how humanity is starting to awakening. And that's actually, speaking of synchronicities, our guest a couple weeks ago, the wonderful Andy Bang, just posted something on his social media that said, mediumship isn't about proving the existence of the spirit world. It's about awakening humanity through its existence, which I thought was just so beautiful. And it's just that next level of mediumship that is so much more meaningful than just the proof. I mean, of course, we always need the proof, but it's that next level. And his use of the word awakening made me think, oh, that's what we need to talk about. That word awakening.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of a lot of the strings of this last season or so has led us to this point, right? Like each of the guests have brought up a different aspect of how we are awakening. And so, for example, remember Joe Taylor mentioned the business about all things happening simultaneously. And I think we were laughing. We were like, haha, can't handle. Like, don't tell me that. Right. But then in that podcast just now, the Raphael babe was like, same. Like, it's all happening right now. And so what I'm loving is that I could handle hearing it 2 weeks later. Like I was like, because I've been praying for more capacity. That's been my big prayer lately. Like, please, team, give me more capacity, give me more ground, make me a better human to handle all the things that are happening, because I was getting a little melty.
Yeah.
A little melting down.
Yeah.
So I was like, more capacity. And then here was like this really direct example of like, okay, I can awaken to the idea that there are so many other dimensions and portals and times and spaces that are simultaneous to this one, including what's allegedly the past. Like they were talking about like Atlantis. That might be your next life is, going to that place which exists right now.
So that makes me think that awakening is a continuous thing. It's not just something that happens once and then, woohoo, I'm awakened. I've done it. I did it. It's over. I crossed the finish line. I'm awakened.
Yeah, no, it keeps happening. And then again and again and again. And then I think we also like to go back to sleep a little bit as humans.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the whole point. I trip out all the time, Jane, on the fact that we're like these little individuals with such closed off perspectives. It's just our own little perspectives. And there's so many variables in our own little perspectives. Like there's hereditary, your genes, the parents you were born to, how you were raised, the culture that you were brought up in, the belief systems, then stack that with hormones when those kick in, like
again and
again, like what those do to how you perceive things and your perception of things.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind because everybody's setup is just a little bit different or something very, very different. Yeah.
I love that. It's like the recording setup. Everyone's setup is a little different.
Everyone's setup is so different.
It's true.
And so unique. So that aspect of being human just blows my mind. And I just lost my train of thought.
Well, I mean, it kind of comes back to the continuum of like time, space conversation we were just having of like, hey, we chose to come in with all of those perspectives, with this setup, as you call it, like the cultural setup, the parental setup, the genetic setup, all of this kind of like, like our little, I see it, I watch a lot of sci-fi because of my kid, but we're like in these little pods, like which robots are we riding with in this pod? Like, how do we see the world? Is it a battlefield or is it a place to go and find a bunch of people to love? Is it, like how and a lot of it too, I like the idea of the glasses we wear, like how are we perceiving this reality, friend or foe kind of thing.
So perhaps in the path of awakening, you become aware that you can choose.
Yes.
That choice is part of it.
Exactly that. And that's something that I went and talked to the Akashic record keepers yesterday, because as I mentioned before, it's been a little melty over here. Like it's been freaking intense. And I know lots of folks can relate to the intensity being 100 right now. And the team led me so my context, my glasses for the Akashic records is I do a prayer to go in and I'm chatting to the masters, teachers, and loved ones of the Akasha. So I get in and they're like, listen, babe, I'm of course paraphrasing. They say it like, yes, dear one, and gentle offerings and like warm help and blessings. And dearest one, you get this one. Dearest, we see you are a tempest of emotions. I was like, word.
Yeah.
And so what they did, just to kind of sidebar from awakening, although maybe it's all on topic, is they had me stop and do this huge relaxation. They had me, I know. I just watched you take a breath. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
take every cell and muscle and molecule and all the parts of this little body and relax it
Yeah.
and drop my belly.
Yeah.
And they were like, now we can talk to you.
Yes. You weren't you didn't have the capacity, and take a breath, and now you do.
Exactly that. And so going back to your point about choice is each moment and each situation and each kind of heartbreak, there's a choice on how we respond to it. And it feels like that free will is kind of the main jam that we do have is like our choice in how to respond.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
That was kind of that's been my prayer is like, respond better, basically.
Yeah.
I want to respond from a place of being of service and of being helpful and not being like the one crying in the corner. So they were, so I thought that was super cool that your body is the tuner. So it cannot conduct electricity and current if it is locked up.
Wait, say that again.
They said your body is the tuner, so it cannot conduct electricity and current if it is locked up.
Okay. And so by taking that deep breath, you're getting in tune to handle the energy.
Exactly. Like your tuner has the actual ability to do it.
Yeah.
Because if you're just like one big piece of static, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I read to you this morning? So we've talked about this in previous episodes, and we even taught a little bit about this in the class that we gave, channeled writing. So I do that all the time. You do that too. It's a practice that I have where when I'm meditating, I just I actually type it on my computer because it works better for me that way because I can't read it otherwise. But I asked this morning I said, please explain to me what awakening is. Oh. And what my guides told me was to awaken, bring awareness to the fullness of your heart, to be guided through love into a greater understanding that who you are is connected to all that is. It is an appreciation for your unique essence through which you experience the creation of that which you are and that which you in turn create. You are awakened when you lean into the fullest expression of your own divinity, accepting all parts of yourself and therefore of others. Awakening is the continuous compassion, love, and celebration for all that is.
Wow. I love that last line about the celebration of all there is.
Yeah, because that encompasses everything.
Right. So, but because I think part of what's been hard for me anyway, is that I've been in resistance to a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't have to name them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the resistance, again, breaks the current. And so they're saying in celebration of the everything and the everyone, I might add, they did say right there.
Oh, yeah.
And Raphael was saying in that podcast too, that that divinity, that's precisely the topic. It's like, we are these divine little beings. And the angel is saying that, they're not outside us. They're in us. Like they are us. Because he was like, how do you become an enlightened master? Which I love that question. And they're like, you are one. And then of course I'm laughing. I'm like, I don't think an enlightened master was going to freak out about the dishes not being done. I just don't think that's who that is.
I just don't think we give ourselves enough credit for how hard it is to be in these little human bodies.
Right. Which tracks back to why I was so stoked on that episode, because she laughed so hard. No, thank you. We shall not be humans. That is way too hard. Yeah. Yeah. So you're right. We need to give ourselves more credit.
Yeah. I was thinking about what are the things that we know from experience as mediums? What are some of the things you know? Because I think what also this conversation brings up is our desire for certainty as human beings.
Oh God, yeah.
Because we're looking for that feeling of stability and certainty and to know what's coming, which we don't get that. But I feel like as mediums, we do have a greater understanding of what happens after we cross. So can I ask you the question, what does that do for you?
That's such a cool question. That just, even you just asking that question took me to 100 places. But yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, where sometimes when it is really hard and crunchy for me, readings are the best. Going into that space where I don't know if I would go all the way to certainty, but there's just something so special. It is like a current that you get to ride. And I guess what I love about it is that I'm not even there. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I get a break from myself because I'm just the channel and I just get to witness gorgeous fireworks of gorgeousness. And so I just kind of get a break from Jane. And I say that with so much love for little Jane. She's a good one. She's a good one.
Yeah, don't diss on my friend Jane.
No, I know you love her, and she loves that you love her. And it's getting weird that I'm talking to myself in the third person. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like I just love kind of being in the everything, and that is again, I'm all about the angel today, but the point of like. That's what's so brilliant about being a human is you get to experience your divinity and you get to experience like tiramisu, which I had some recently and it blew my mind. Tiramisu, OMG, right? So clearly I'm back on sugar. So anyway, your question is so good, but I think that's what it does for me is mediumship reminds me of the greater good, the divinity, the like bigger, beautiful picture. And so I love Andy's quote because I think that that's exactly what he's saying is that we are like agents of awakening because we're like, hey, P.S., your grandpa's here. And he's like, not only talking about Cracker Jacks, but he's really interested in like, your son's essay on blah, 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 whatever. Like they're just so incredible. And if we can offer a tiny miracle at any point in the day, then that's a real gift.
Yeah, it always feels like a miracle.
Yes, totally.
It really does.
And so what is your answer to that same question, my friend?
I think it's the same, but I also feel like it's also seeing another person through the love eyes.
Love eyes.
Because when you have a sitter sitting right there, quite often the spirit communicator will come and it's almost like they sit on my lap and want to look through the computer screen at their loved one in the physical. And I just feel a lot of what the spirit communicator feels. And quite often it's just like so much love and gratitude for their person in the physical. And it never ceases to fill me up and make me so happy. Yeah. Because that love is just like, it's like the fuel. It's what keeps us going. It's the connection that makes everything work.
Yeah, it's the stuff, baby. Yeah, that's great. And I didn't spend enough time talking about how much I loved what your guides said. Like that was pretty spot on. I was almost like, and we can turn off the mics. Like, you know what I mean? That download is so good. It just kind of encompasses everything that I feel like we really need to say today, which is...
I also looked up what awakening is just to see what the internet's had to say. But first of all, Suzanne Giesemann has her book and her whole jam is called The Awakened Way. Like she's got the book, The Awakened Way.
Right.
And it's literally called The Awakened Way, making the shift to the divinely guided life, which she talks about it so eloquently. So everybody should just go check out Suzanne Giesemann's teachings. But I also looked it up and there's stages to a spiritual awakening. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I mean, maybe sort of, but tell me.
Okay. So I found Gaia, which is the TV. Isn't that a TV media company? So I'm just reading off of their website and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous website. But the first stage they call the call.
Mm.
It begins when a disruptive event or an event that calls to question the foundations of life happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second stage is the dark night of the soul.
The second stage?
Yeah. Like, haven't we talked about the dark night of the soul here?
Yeah.
Our DJ babe, Amanda Elemental, she was talking a lot about her dark night of the soul before she found mediumship.
And talented too. A lot of our guests have talked about the dark night.
Yeah. It's when individuals face their deepest shadows and limitations, a period of intense introspection where old identities and beliefs are challenged and often dismantled, which is what has to happen a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah. Admittedly, I'm feeling a little dark nighty lately. I really have been in it.
Yeah.
My kind of context for that is the Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the same idea. There's like a call to adventure.
Yep.
And then, but in that sort of context, which is, there's a lot of screenwriters and you can almost like, you can tell the Dark Knight happens 3/4 of the way through the movie, usually. It's pretty, like you can pretty much time it. Oh, like here comes the party's in the middle. Then there's the Dark Night of the Soul. But so that's why I was surprised when you said it was number 2. So anyway, please go on. Because
you want to find out what the third stage is then?
Because the flying monkeys come second. So then what happens?
Transformation.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Where the individual begins to integrate the new truths and perceptions they have discovered. Beautiful. During this stage, the person may discover new abilities or talents that arise from their renewed understanding and spiritual connection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a medium.
Yeah. P.S. Surprise.
And here's the 4th stage, which I kind of like to hang out in, believe it or not. It's the hermit.
Oh, totes. That's interesting.
The hermit stage is characterized by a period of introspection and voluntary solitude. Could be just I have 3 kids and I'm tired. But
you could just have too many dishes.
Yeah.
Laundry.
And then the 5th stage is materialization.
Whoa.
Huh.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Let's find out.
We'll find out. We'll just keep recording this podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Thanks, Gaia. We'll put you in the show notes. It marks the culmination of the spiritual journey where the individual emerges from retreat to put their renewed understanding and skills into practice. Mm-hmm. Concrete actions are taken that reflect internal changes, positively influence the community and environment.
No, that is the podcast.
Yeah.
We did put it into action. We opened a mic and put it on the internet.
Action.
Wow. Action. Wow. That's a cool description.
Yeah. So my only question is this something, because you said you're feeling dark night of the soul again. Like, do we go through this over and over again? We must. It's like a spiral, right?
Yeah.
It's never complete. Like it's got to be a continuous thing.
Yeah. That's my belief is we're on a continuum and the hope is that you're spiraling up, but sometimes you got to go back to go forward. Right. Like, I think that's part of what's been happening for me is like, you know how there's certain issues in your life and you're like, I see you, I'm going to get to you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. For me, just being really frank, it's when things get really hard, I will emotionally eat. Like a super scary thing happened recently at the airport and I ran to get French fries. I literally was like, beelined. I was like, this girl needs French fries. And I could feel how ridiculous it was. Like I knew that was like not the move, but yet that is what happened. And so that's been up for me. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't need to use food as a crutch to like metabolize emotions.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit ready to look at it.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I'm going to fix it or I'm starting to do EFT tapping about it.
Oh yeah. That's supposed to be really good.
It's supposed to be really good, right?
Yeah.
And it was really cute because they were talking to me about it in the Akasha, and they put this YouTuber in my mind, and it was really cute the way they said it. They were like, yes, we just popped a YouTube person into your mind to research and find. That will be a great next step. We will reassure you again that blah, blah, blah. Like, it's because I'm doing a reading for myself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So anyway, I just have a tiny bit of willingness to look at something that's been very hard throughout my whole life.
Well,
because of some trauma that like lined right up with an ice cream cone, right? So like that's just like a thing. It's like a hard thing for me. But even the little bit of willingness to crack open that painful past and that painful situation, I'm back in a little bit of the dark night. But but
then you can just shovel on loads and loads of compassion on top of that.
Aw, I love that.
Because there's not a single person here who doesn't have something, their own version of French fries that they're dealing with. Truly. Right.
No, we do. But do you see what I mean? Like we all know we have a thing, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's all just tied up with body issues and like perceptions and just all of that stuff. And, for a while there, I wasn't willing to look at it, and now I am. And so that's like, hooray me. Like, I'm like ready to step back into the ring is kind of how it feels. It's like, okay, I feel brave. I'm going to step in. This is scary.
So you're into the third stage, the transformation.
God willing. When I'm like, I'll have a sip of water instead of French fries, and we're going to be cooking with gas.
I get that message all the time. Oh, dear one, drink more water.
Drink more water.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we reach for our water. Good
well,
stuff.
Dear one.
Are we transformed? Did we do it?
I think so. I think the other point is that we need to just enjoy it while we're here. As crazy as that sounds.
Yes.
It's
not crazy. It's so true.
I don't know if I hear a lot like, just lighten up, have more fun with it. Mm-hmm. Don't take it all so seriously. It really doesn't matter. No.
Yeah, no, and I think we've talked about this, not maybe with guests and just the two of us, but that's the thing I hear a lot is like, it's all just a play. It's all just a play, and you're playing a role. And, lately I've been like, in this video game, there's a lot of tea leaves or whatever, because I'm still in Hawaii. I'm like, wow, look at how cool the graphics engine is, that the sky is that blue and the clouds are that white. Like I literally will like kind of pop back in and out of like, who is making this? I used to walk with
the simulation.
Yeah, it's a simulation, right? Yeah. And I used to walk with this dear friend on Honolulu Bay, and we used to joke that at a certain point we were going to hear cut, print, wrap, and then like the whole thing would remove. It's like the whole backdrop would roll up because it's so unreasonably beautiful here that, there's a certain point I was like, whoa, I don't know where I signed up to come into this room of the game, but this is pretty kick-ass.
It is. I know. If we can just get out of our heads for 5 seconds and just take it in.
Yeah. That's it. And maybe that gets back to your great question about why do we medium, the verb to medium. Why are we mediuming all the time? It's because it does that. It does that for me. It gets me back into the higher perspective. Like, oh, I don't have to freak out about XYZ and XYZ and why didn't they do the dishes? It's like, that's super not important right now. What's important is, what? I don't know. Like all of it, the big picture, like these beautiful souls that want to connect.
That's so true.
Especially just to give an extra plug to Very Soul, every time I do a volunteer, like a gift reading for someone, I always just like freak out. I'm like, what are the chances that human is appearing on my screen in front of me?
Right.
I mean, I guess that's true with anyone I do a reading for, but for some reason I think about it more with the Very Soul ones where I'm just like, and I'll say to them like, it's a miracle. You pushed a button. I pushed a button. what are we doing here? This is nuts.
Yeah.
It's like such a magical
It feels like there's
situation.
so many strings behind the scenes getting
Yes.
pulled to set up that exact connection.
Correct. Exactly that. Like how many, again, like what game engine put you and I in this chat room right here, right now? Like what a miracle.
Yeah.
And then usually there's something really salient, like, that I understand them because their person on the other side faced, needed to be sober and they're not, or there's like some reason that I'm the right medium for that person.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a miracle.
Yeah. It's a freaking miracle.
Yeah. So taking part in these little miracles. Yeah. It's absolutely worth it. It makes it all make sense.
And then, in terms of an awakening story, I feel like there ain't no awakening unless you're in nature. I want to push that one again because I think it's pretty easy to become vacuum sealed into houses and apartments and offices and cars and
phones.
Phones under the trance of a phone.
Sucked in. Oh, yeah.
I saw this hilarious Instagrammer who was like hugging a tree in a ridiculous way. And it was like, yeah, baby, that's what we need. Folks who have tons of followers to teach us how to hug a tree, like full body koala hug. Yeah. Well, cool. I just feel so lucky to have been brought to this point in the journey, even though, like I said, lately it's been very soggy and hard. But if we can kind of just keep being curious about,
you did it.
I did it.
You did it.
What's happening in our lives and ask like, okay, how does this serve my awakening? How is this new
Good
situation
job,
a gift to unwrap in the present? Right?
That wraps it all up. That's beautiful.
I'm glad you feel that way. Thanks for this great topic.
Way. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I think that's just a constant and we'll keep doing it. We'll keep our awakening journey going.
And listeners, we are trying to get together another Monarch episode.
Yeah.
So please get in touch with us and we'll tell you how to send us a recording of your stories of sign synchronicities or really cool readings.
Please do that. We love them. Those episodes are some of our favorites. So be in touch and tell us your amazing stories of how your divinity has rippled with the reality that you're living in and you get a beautiful synchronicity to remind yourself who you really are.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Right? Sentence simulation. And listeners, also, please meet us over on Substack. We're having a lot of fun over there. We post about our episodes, but also we have chats and any information that you're looking for, you can find us on mediumcurious.com or you can come straight to the Medium Curious Pod Substack and we'll find you there.
All right.
All right. With that,
love ya.
Love you
everybody
very much.
else.
Bye.
Bye. Very Soul is our sponsor for Medium Curious. Jane and I are both Very Soul mediums.
Oh, yes, we are. Verysoul.com, y'all. Inspired by spirit, guided by love, and brought to life by mediums. Medium Curious is made possible
by Jane Morgan Editing.
Sarah Rathke made the amazing music.
You can help Medium Curious by downloading the episodes
and following our socials. And the dogs under the desk in Hawaii are Kalea and Domino.
And Trixie in California.